Rashad, why you didn't
Anyways,
hit me up?
What's up, Rashad? Hey, Rashad.
What's up, Rashad?
Thank you, Rashad.
brother, I love you, brother. Trump, lit,
What's up, Rashad?
yeah.
What it do, boy?
Hey, Rashad.
Mike and Earl's story. Here's a story about Mike and Earl. I want to see this. Rap saved my life. A hazy conversation with Mike and Earl Sweatshirt. Two of hip hop's brightest minds go toe to toe on their undeniable similarities, their problems in drumless rap, and why they can never get tired of your passion. All right, Solomon, Pace, McGarrick from DAZED. Quote unquote. I mean, the elephant in the room is that me and Mike are pretty similar. Earl Sweatshirt tells DAZED over the video call. Mike, who was sitting next to him, immediately bursts into a fit of laughter to any fan of his work, throwing his head back and holding his stomach as Earl takes a slow toke of his joint, smiling. It's good to get out in the open. Since their fateful encounter back in 2016, Earl and Mike have become the figureheads of a particular cerebral brand of hip hop, delivering a laid back, THC and encrusted aphorisms over experimental sample based production. Together, the brothers in bars, helped revolutionize the medium. But speaking to DAZED last month, Earl describes his first time meeting Mike in a much more personal terms. It was like, I'm not the only dude who feels like this. The feeling was mutual. Even before meeting him, Mike branded Earl as his favorite rapper, later recounting how critically acclaimed the artist became somewhat of a mentor to him, both in music and beyond. Despite them being born on opposite coasts and separated by 4 years of age, the pair has gone on to work on multiple releases together, and then their call with DAZED would come to a close. Mike and Earl off to Joshua Tree to shoot a music video for our upcoming collaboration. Tourmaline Tao. See me down, from be sound, some better be round. For my sweet child, struggle ain't a team sport. Shouts out to Earl Sweatshirt. Earl, meanwhile, only further settled into his new rap mentor mantle on his new project, Live Life Love, released in August. Both sonically and thematically, a far cry from the early horrorcore raps as a teenager rolling without a future. The new project features meditations of Earl's newfound fatherhood and his meandering journey to become one of the generation's most respected voices. Vestibule lesson prerequisite to getting in the door is never letting them get in you short. Let's get it. I've been there before. The 31-year-old raps on the standout single, Tourmaline, dropping wisdom occurred across his 7 full-length releases. I was gonna be out. Nowadays, my wife sends me to the studio, jokes Earl, and during a particular poignant discussion on how his relationship with rap has evolved over the years. When stuff was fresh, she didn't want me to go nowhere. Now she looking at me in the house at 11 a.m. like, go be with men and rap. You need it. It's a lifestyle. Suffice to say, the conversation below shadows a university lecture and a comedy set. Joints are lit and relit, and two of hip hop's brightest minds are on tangents on the promise, quote unquote, promise of rap, why you can never tire of your passion. How did you guys meet Earl Sweatshirt? It was through journalist Matt Trammell. I moved to New York and asked him, what are you listening to? And he sent me Mike's 40 Souths video. A month or two later, I was working with Wiki and Out of the Basement at XL, and we were under the Mother Irmer like Harry Potter before Hogwarts. Anyways, that's when I brought Mike to debut the 2016 album Longest Day, Shortest Night. I always trip out when I think about you getting that email. That stuff is really funny. I got an email that Earl Sweatshirt had brought an album on Bandcamp, and I was like, I don't really think it's this dude. He said, my stuff was just burnt out. My email the whole time was dang near, yo, what's up? My name is Earl Sweatshirt at gmail.com. I will let you to cop the project on Bandcamp, Earl. He said, man, I feel like the elephant in the room is that we're pretty similar to each other. It's immediately recognizable when I saw 40 Stops. It could have been almost like an obligation to tap in. That could have been a hassle, you know what I mean? I always think about it in terms of what Madlib and Dilla spoke about when hearing each other's music into some interview, but admittedly even more dramatic, spooky at that. And it was like, this dude's talking to me. We speak a similar language. I feel like a lot of people do, but they might feel a bit thrown off by contextualizing us as dudes still in their drip. He said, yeah, dudes still in the drip, but I've always recently trying to make sense of being a part of a lineage, and people tell you stories in a similar way. Like I think about if you want me to write raps, just like a doom lyric, sinister. I don't know what he's saying, but the words be funny. A lot of people may give you a whole bunch of things, but there's a something powerful in just saying what you need to say. Earl Sweatshirt. If you need to say something, that not saying it for the sake of it, if you're not trying to be alone in some essence or some stuff, I think that's what you need to do in your music. It's self-soothing. Rap is the longest conversation, and every generation of the conversation gets a bit smarter. Speaking of, you two sound similar. What was the product of your interactions together, or simply two routes to the same destination? I think the elephant in the room is Africa. He said elephant in the room for all of them. And being born in a similar time, I recently realized on how much that has influenced my music that I like. I feel like the music that you only get one chance to like, and I'm not like a dude who feels this. It's cliche, but that's sometimes literally all you need to speak and have a voice. Mike, you said that Earl was a bit of a mentor to you. What did he teach you? He said it was both ways. That's what Earl said. He said, "Bro, I was literally 17 when I met Tebe and the homie Sage. I was getting out of my auntie's crib, trying to stay by myself and learn certain things. I always think it like me, we were kids taking care of other kids. I realized when I became of age that Tebe, when he met, and I was like, bro, I feel young as heck. And then I felt like I learned so much, and it goes back to the lineage thing. I learned that I'm part of something bigger. And then Earl said, bro, bigger than rap. And not in the sense that rap is negative, but bigger than rap so that you can honor rap wholly for what it is and push it higher. He said, not to get off topic, but rap has taught me so much about life. And in the sense of that, I needed to be progressive about that. And I wasn't progressive about it before, and learn about the ways in which people I don't know rap too. I realized without art and music, a lot of people wouldn't have access to these intangibles. I have one bar where I'm like, rap saved my life today. And it is literally true. That's a life that I get to live now. So my parents didn't even have to, because they didn't have access to. And Earl said, to bars. And how many emotions that the generation did that were prompted by dudes who didn't have bars. Mike said, for sure. How many people were galvanized by the music? That's interesting, because on one side you position rap as something radical or something that everything came before it, but on the other end it's tied to this intergenerational wisdom. He said it's like the world's longest conversation, and every generation the conversation gets a bit smarter. Earl, that's what rap did. It came as the first genre. They said we've got room for everything, quote unquote. By the way, of the initial dealt as theft and piracy, rap is number zero. You can multiply it, anything, and it's just zero. It can be folk, it can be gospel, it can be anything. It's forever. It said soon, as you reach more of a mature age in your career, you're not gonna lose touch with the kids. And he laughed. He said, "Nah, bro, I'm with Surf Gang. I'm too locked in. I'm surrounded by multiple skateboard magazines right now." He said, "Are you guys both played a huge role in pushing forward the avant-garde and the drumless?" Excuse me. I feel like this is actually a good thing to cover with everybody. With drumless rap in a category, it's dangerous. Man, my mouth got dry. Hold on, pause. Mm. I feel like people associate drumless rap with the idea of rapping over a sample. And those two things don't match up. There aren't many samples that are rapped over that don't have drums in them. That's usually drums in the sample. It's a beat that doesn't have programmed drums in it, which is never constituted rap. Programmed drums were only a part of it. It's all even rap music. That's why I said my goal is to be one thing. The problem is, if rap music doesn't have to be splintered or Tupperwared off into these different things. When they sort off into subgenres, it's easier for people to be like, make more or less drumless stuff, or which playlist can I fit into? For so long, we've been rapping over beats that got drum sounds, and then dudes say, "Oh, your stuff is vapor wave coded," or "This is drumless route." And I'm always have no intention of it being that. Anyway, more time the people who call yourself drumless are the ones who don't mess with you and use it in a derogatory way. And they're not listening. It's like water cooler talk. They sound smart. Do you have any questions that you like to ask each other? And he said, what do you do when you get tired? Because you're like me. You've got this thing where you can keep going forever. And he says, I think it goes back to the question on whether you can separate the art from the artist. In my theory, you can't, because of your art, especially in rap music, is a life that you want to live. So one of the funniest things recently was when I went on a real vacation for the first time, and I was having fun. But I also realized so many hours in the day became available because I wasn't able to work on music. I was just like, yo, this dude is going to get in trouble because you don't have nothing to do with yourself. He said, yo, I realized when I went into super fitness, man, last year, the way I began to do it wasn't normal. I was just doing it to restrain myself. He said, I feel like you can only create a healthy relationship with something, then you don't have to get burnt out. Like, we just did a run of shows. I was tired, but I wasn't burnt out. He said, because you're doing what you want to do. Like, you take this amount of work, but it's not like your body's communicating with you that it doesn't want to do it. So it fortifies you. So basically, you just took a big brain, long winded way of saying, burst out laughing. I don't get tired. That's good. That's a good story. I like that story. I like that. That was well written, Mr. Solomon Paste. Let me see what the chat's saying. Wow, yeah. Hi, my name is T. We're going to some stream reactions now.
Rashad, why you
Anyway.
didn't hit me up?
What's up, Rashad? Hey, Rashad.
What's up, Rashad?
Thank you, Rashad.
Brother, I love you, brother.
What's up, Rashad? What it do, boy?
Hey, Rashad.